Hi, welcome to the Kitchen Sink Art Room. I'm Camilla, and I've invited you into my kitchen because I want to make art as simple and fun for you as it is to go into your kitchen, get out a set of measuring spoons and cups, and perhaps bake your favorite cake. We won't be baking any cakes today, but I will be showing you how to make a really powerful work of art. The project that I'd like to introduce you to is one that I do every year at the beginning of the year. It's great for setting a goal or an intention for what you would like to bring into your new year. You could do this any time of year. I opt to choose to follow a word. Instead of making a resolution for myself, I think about what I would like to accomplish in the new year and come up with an open-ended word or phrase that I will follow for that entire year. I love this project so much that I've done it for the past 5 years. I have 3 examples to show you today: a beginning level, an intermediate level, and an advanced level for this project so that you can choose where you're comfortable with it. I'm also going to show you how to create this project either using a photo of yourself or using images from a magazine. So the ingredients for this art project are really simple. They are glue, magazines, and then for the advanced level, paint and perhaps a photograph of yourself. These are some examples from our previous years. This would be the basic level of this project. It's very easy because it's only the background of this canvas, which I find at thrift stores, a photograph of myself that I cut out and glued on. The word that I was following last year was new. It was all about new beginnings. So I thought that it was perfect when I was out in a botanical garden that I asked my husband to take my photograph under this Japanese arch. The arch actually symbolizes transitions and new beginnings. So again, this is the basic level project. Canvas, photograph, glue. Only 3 ingredients. The next one that I'm going to show you, the intermediate level of this project, is similar. It's also a canvas, and here's another one. This is the one that I'm going to be working with this year. I've decided that my word that I'm going to follow this year is glow, and I'll be going through the project step by step using this background. This one was thrive, and I took this project to the next level, the intermediate level, because I used the photograph as I usually do, but I also added paint, the rainbows coming in and out of my hands. So this is the next step that I will also show you that you can choose to try if you'd like. If you're not comfortable with using paint, you can find images from magazines that you add to also take it to the next step without using paint as one of your ingredients. Finally, a more advanced level of this project would be this one right here. And this word was leap of faith. So the reason that this project is on more of an advanced level is because I used Photoshop techniques to put my face onto a body of a person that was leaping. I also used paint to extend out from that, and I used a poster of this city scene, cut out the boat, used a bit more advanced painting techniques for the water and for the clouds. You can keep this as simple as you'd like, or you can get as complex as you like. And I'm happy to show you how to do all of those 3 things. So I'd like to ask you to come over next with me to the kitchen table where we're going to start making art together. I love to make art at the kitchen table. I love it even better when my dogs are right here next to me. This is Cheyenne, and this cute little face is Harley. They're my favorite kitchen sink art room helpers. The important thing about this project is that you have fun and that you just give over to the process. The process of making it is more important than how it's going to turn out in the end. Get some magazines, whatever your favorite magazines are. Gardening, crafting, art, fashion, interior design, or maybe it's all of them. And then just find images that you love. This one, for example, I don't know why, I just like it. So I'm going to tear it out and I'm going to start a stack right here. It doesn't have to make any sense to you right now. Just take those images and make a stack of them. You'll come back to them later and may or may not use them in this project. just build your collection of what I call visual language, because this is a project that's really going to tap into your subconscious. You may or may not be sure about why you're choosing this one or choosing that one until the end, when it all kind of comes together and makes sense. The second step would be coming up with a self-portrait photo. This is one of my favorite parts of the project, is to really imagine the word that I've chosen, and this year it's glow, and to step into whatever it feels like to glow. I take a bunch of photos of myself. Well, usually I have to get one of my family members too. Sometimes they're very reluctant to help me, but they usually come through in the end. So my husband helped me take these pictures. That looks like I'm doing the luau. I don't know, it just felt like glow. And then I thought maybe glow means go with the flow. Then I choose a couple of them and print them out in different sizes, because I'm not sure until I come right here to my canvas to figure out how I'm going to place this on here, what the scale of the photo needs to be. So that's what I recommend that you do first. Steps are kind of combined, step 1 and 2. Look through magazines, pull out as many images as you can, then go take your self-portrait, of course with the help of someone else. I just like to put my whole body into it. I was looking on the printer to get my picture, and I found this fun lantern, and that made me think, glow, sky lanterns. So I didn't automatically have magazines with sky lanterns in them, and I just did a Google image search and pulled up sky lanterns. This is all part of the process, is not knowing for sure what you're going to do. Once I got down here and started sort of playing around with the photo that I cut out of myself, and I realized that I wasn't really sure where I was going to go with this. Then I came up with even more ideas for particular images that I wanted, and that's when I decided to do the Google image search. Next step, I'm going to bring the camera over my shoulder and show you how I start laying things out. You can use regular plain old white glue, it's just fine. I also have a bottle of Liquitex matte medium, which I enjoy using sometimes also. You don't need a ton of glue, and actually an older bottle of white glue is great, and if you even want to put some on your wax paper or your parchment paper for a while and let it dry up a little bit. The thing that makes your paper curl up is the moisture in the glue. So what I do is just paint the glue on a very, very light layer on the back of the project, like so. Now, white glue is going to dry with a little bit of a glossy sheen to it. So be careful not to get anything on the front side of the things that you're gluing down, unless you're going to put a final layer of glue over everything, which you can certainly do. So I've just got a nice even layer of glue on the back of this piece of paper that I'm going to glue down, and I need to let it dry. In fact, do that with all of the things that you're going to be gluing to your canvas, and just let them sit for, I don't know, it dries pretty quickly with a thin layer, 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to all of my pieces, and then we'll come back and start gluing them down to the canvas. This is the last step in the process. I've sized all my paper. I've put everything back basically where it went. And I went through one final editing and decided not to use these images. That's part of the process, is picking what you want to use and picking what you don't want to use, whatever you need and don't need. So you need to start by thinking about what goes on first. And usually I would start with the place of emphasis, which is, in this case, it is myself. So I'm just going to gently move these things out of the way and keeping in place where the seashell is, because that item goes on first. I'll let the glue or the Liquitex sit out for a while, because you want as little moisture as possible. Even though you've already sized your paper, it's still going to buckle and curl a little bit. I'm going to go right onto my canvas, which I wiped clean with a damp paper towel before I started. I put a very thin layer here. I use what I call cross-hatching because that's a drawing technique to go with your pencil or pen vertically, or actually this is horizontally, and then vertically, so to get nice even coverage. Now, in this step, you can take your clean paintbrush. However, I left mine over at the kitchen sink. So I'm going to go ahead and use this wet paintbrush because it's working out just fine. Things are going on nicely. They're not buckling. Sometimes they do. And sometimes as soon as you say they're not buckling, then they will. So you just have to use some patience here when you're adhering your items onto the canvas. I didn't quite have enough Liquitex put down here. I decided to use the Liquitex because I have Liquitex. If I didn't, again, the white glue would be fine. Just keep in mind that your glue will dry clear, but it will have a little bit of a sheen to it. So it will kind of give it a nice semi-gloss look, which you might really like. You can also buy Liquitex with a semi-gloss as well. So just kind of checking underneath, adding a little more adhesive as needed, and then going over the top of it with adhesive as well. This creates a nice, smooth, finished look. Everything gets adhered to the canvas really tight. It's important to have good craftsmanship and take your time when you're doing this. I really enjoy the process of applying the adhesive. It's like painting, but you're not leaving any paint marks behind. And it's just really fun. I really love this part of it, and I hope you enjoy this part of this too. It's time to stop. I can also see that it's buckling up a little bit, so I'm gonna have to go grab my dry brush, and then with the dry brush, you can just gently push those little buckling places down. I just finished adhering everything to the canvas, and I made some mistakes that I'm going to correct with paint, marker, or colored pencil. On this one, it was printed on cardstock that was not suitable for a laser printer. So when I started to put the adhesive over it, it started rubbing off some of the ink. And I'd already glued most of it down, so I decided to just leave it there and let it be a good example for how you can touch up using that other media. Same thing happened here. That was the one I used earlier as an example of what not to do. I let it dry on the table, and when I pulled it up, these little nicks got taken out of it. And then sure enough, just like I said not to do, I was checking to see if this one was dry, and when I touched it, I pulled up some of the paint from it. So I'm going to fix that one too. I also think that it would be fun to have some paint coming out and make like this breath coming forward from them. I think there's something to that seems magical and fun. So I'm going to go get my paint and a little detail brush and some colored pencils and some markers and see what works best on which one of these, and then I'll be all done.